I'm absolutely stuck on my trades this week, so I'm going to need plenty of help from you guys. I've got a bunch of options. I haven't locked anything in yet, and we'll go through them after we go through the people squad, who we have made 2 trades now and leaves us with 221k. Very, very interesting decisions on this one. Still have Eli Katoa, have decided to hold him, decided to trade out Trent Lioro. So Lioro goes out, Carrigan is also Gonskis, and we actually bring in Jack Bird. So he comes into the centres, Alamotti moves to the emergency there, and then Host also comes in. So that's where the money has been saved. Carrigan to Host there, and Lioro to Bird. So very, very interesting. And that's obviously saving up some cash for future trades from here. Coming into this week, it was 26 available, 24 left after this one, coming 3,000th overall. And if you're looking at the entirety of the team now, pretty strong up top. Obviously, Ford's in there covering the mids at the moment. That's probably the only sort of stressor in this team, I would say, is just having him as that only sort of cover in between the mid and the edge, and only having Couchman and Murdoch Masila as that mid cover. So not super exciting. Obviously, Boydie in there covering hooker and also half, which is great, along with Isaiah Katoa. So centers much improved now, Lemuelu and Bird, which is great. Wing fullback still carrying Warbrick, so deciding to keep him over Lioro is an interesting one, and going for another player in the centres, which I think was fair. Improving at least one of the centre and the wing fullback was good, but leaving that 220k rather than using it this week is going to be an interesting one, because you could go Alamotti, could go a few of these guys up to a strong top player. Warbrick could be one of those guys as well to be able to use. It's very interesting that didn't go for Joey Manu, the people squad. So yeah, a fun one there this week. Hopefully Warbrick comes out and does pretty well. I'm sort of toying with the fact of still holding on to him in my team as well, and playing him this week, or Suoli'i and holding him as well. So yeah, as I said, you guys will have to help me out on that one, and we'll go through that in a second. But up top there, Madison, Grant, I expect a bounce back from him for sure. Hassel still to be seeing. We've decided to vice Hass captain Cleary in this one, which is sweet. It's a pretty tough week for captaincy unless you've got Hines. I think he's the clear best option there. Expect a good game again from Johnson, probably similar to last week, to be fair, somewhere in the 50s, I'd say, if it's a little bit more of an even tussle. They didn't have the ball a lot in that one, and he was able to get a couple of tries, thankfully, but an improvement from him would be great. Miller, obviously an improvement from him also, but mostly owned by everyone. And then Walshy with his good scoring going on at the moment. In the interchange, it doesn't look as solid as we would have hoped. We obviously have a lot of cheap guys, Nikorima, Couchman, Murdoch Masila, plenty of those type of guys there that are cheap and will score okay, but not spectacular. Interchange of Preston, Host, Boyd, and Katoa. Look, it's okay. You probably only want to be playing one of Host and Katoa, but if the rest of your team's super strong, some of the trades I'm toying with at the moment, which I'll show you in a second, just ends up with Host and Katoa playing, but that means a really gun center and a really center pairing and a really gun wing fullback pairing. So no liabilities in the main 13, and just having those two guys to probably score somewhere in the 30s as your sort of best options there on the interchange. So yeah, plenty to think about here. Alamotti is obviously the center cover, and can muck around with a few things, obviously with the edge and center combo that we've got there, but no wing fullback cover, which is a little bit annoying, a little bit scary for sure. But if you're looking at guys that are going to be out next week, it is Warbrick. So we're going to have to do something in the wing fullback position, and maybe that's why the 220k is left, rather than just using it this week to upgrade. So yeah, people squad crew, let me know what you're thinking going forward, and we can make our decisions from there. So that's the people squad. Let's go to my team now and a few of the trades that I'm looking at. We'll really like your help on this one. I have 3k in the bank. The team's looking obviously pretty solid overall, currently in the top 800, 723. We are ranked here. Plenty of potential trade outs. I'm still not sure what's going on with Hopgood and what we want to do with him. So he's potentially on the chopping block, but the main issue here is that I can't make that decision until we find out what's happening with their final team, and if he's going to get back into the starting side, or if he's on the bench. And if we're looking at Jacob Host, he's playing in that first game, which I forgot about. So that's frustrating news there. And we may have to make our decision today, but I'm currently unsure on that matter. So obviously, our things we need to improve: at least one of center or wing fullback, potentially both. But what I'm finding it hard to do is be able to bring in a gun in both those positions. So Bird and Manu is kind of my two options this week that I'm really looking at. who I think are going to do really well going forward. But, having Suoli'i down at 477, he's a bit of an awkward one as a trade out target. If I had him in the 500s, it'd be clear as day. Like, if he was around Trent Leoro's price at 552, then I'd be able to do 3 cracker trades, Hopgood, Katoa, and, Suoli'i at 550, up to 3 sort of gun mid 600s all the way down to, low 600 point price guys there. So, yeah, that's the general thoughts at the moment. Let's go straight into my potential trades. And the first one, which I don't mind, but is using 3 trades, is Suoli'i, Katoa, and Leoro there to host Bird and Manu. You could switch Leoro there easily up to Hopgood, and that would leave us plenty in the bank. You could go, instead of going Suoli'i, you can go like a Warbrick or an Alamotti and Hopgood, which would do those 3 trades as well. But I'd have to make that today, and let me know your thoughts on that. If I did that one, obviously makes my centre and wing fullback really good. Like I said, it'd be Lemuelu, Bird in centres, and then you've got Manu, Teddy, and Miller in the back there. It means I keep Alamotti, I keep Warbrick, and they will be my 18th and 19th man. Ben Murdoch-Masila and Talau 2021. That means Host and Katoa would be 16 and 17, which is what I was thinking about there. At least 23k, and trade outs next week, depending how Hopgood goes, he could be one of those guys. It already removes my issues there with Katoa and Leoro in terms of round 9 protection there. So it doesn't look as good this week, but next week I've already got rid of those guys and may not have to make a large amount of trades in that one. So that's something to think about. But it does leave me it has plenty of cover in the outside backs, which is great, but it leaves me kind of thin in my 16th and 17th man, which is not something I've really liked. And if Host and Katoa flop a little bit, it does hurt me. So I'm tempted to just go one of Bird and Manu, and most likely going to be Manu at this stage. And we can kind of watch Bird over the next few weeks. And if he's still a clear option next week or the week after, then I could get him there. That would probably mean I play Warbrick if I'm still trading out Suoli'i and I don't get Bird. So yeah, there's some general thoughts on that one there. That would, as I said, 23k in the bank, 23 trades remaining there. Next option is Suoli'i and Hopgood to Hammer and Manu. Let me know your thoughts on Hammer, guys. I think that that 32 in a losing side when they got absolutely smashed, I think is very good as a floor for him. Yeah, he's had the odd couple of low games, but then he's had plenty of high ones as well. He just seems to be involved in everything. For him to make 180, 200 meters every single game, the tackle breaks will come. Their next few games, especially, aren't too bad. They got Sharks, I think, before their bye, which is going to be a bit tough. So him at that slightly cheaper price of 574 is definitely a great option, I think, going in towards the bye period where he only misses 1 game. So that's the general thoughts on that one. It does then leave me with Katoa, Leoro, Warbrick, who aren't playing next week, and I'm probably going to have to make trades from there. So the positives of this one, you keep those guys 4 good scores this week, potentially have to move them on next week. I do save 1 trade here as well, and as I said, the improvement there is in the center and the wing fullback position, but it does leave me a little bit weaker across the board again. With I'd be playing Katoa and Leoro, which is good. So 1 improvement there. I'd have to play 1 between Host and Katoa, which I think would be fine also. And then the third one is my current other option there is Suoli'i, Hopgood, Alamotti, and then we could go Host, Manu, and DeBellin. So what that would leave us is actually having no cover in the center and wing fullback, strangely enough. So losing Alamotti and Suoli'i means Warbrick is playing. I do have a super strong bench. It's pretty crazy. But that means I don't play Katoa, I don't play Host at all, and you're sitting with like DeBellin, Moses, Leoro, these types of guys on the bench, which is going to be really good. And I think this is clearly stronger for this week. But going forward from there, what do I do with that one? As I said, same thing as the one before. Katoa, Leoro, Warbrick not playing next week, and I probably would have to trade again. So this would leave me with 23, and then probably going to have to make a couple of trades from there. With that scenario, it does leave you, as I said, trading heavy and really hoping that there's going to be a cash cow come available. So that's the hard part, because there's no real clear options at the moment. Cash cows, that the cheap guys that are potentially going to make some money. Granville, I was looking at. If he was going to get named in the starting side, I would have just done like Warbrick down to Granville, give me enough cash to go, I believe, just to go Suoli'i up to Manu, and that would be great. And it's still potentially an option, right? It leaves me with all my strong mids and my top guns up there in Katoa, Leoro, and also Hopgood, and means I'm just banking on Granville or banking on like Nikorima to do really well over the next bunch of weeks and kind of keep his spot. So yeah, it's a little bit of an interesting one how this is all going to go. I think Nikorima can play pretty solid. That 25 was in a losing side. If you think that he's going to keep his spot, then I think it's a solid trade. If there's a chance you think he loses the spot, then that's a little bit worrying as well. I suppose the thing is, if he does lose his spot, I will have, just with those two trades I spoke about, Warbrick and Suaalii out, going down to him and up to Manu. It does improve my centres of wing fullbacks. It kind of sets things up a little bit better. It might be the risk worth taking this week just because I'm not exactly sure on the trades. It saves one this week, and it's not the one that I've actually been looking into too much because I was just like, Granville, Nikorima, are they any good? And Nikorima is another half. So I think with him anyway, you'd probably look to move him on come Origin. So there's that kind of theory there that I've been throwing around, and I'll look into that a little bit more because that leaves me with 3 top guns there. And I suppose by that point, if I just leave out hosts completely, which it would be in that scenario, I could then wait and decide what Hopgood's going to do, and can make my trade decisions from there. That's kind of where I'm at the moment. Not panicking at all because I think either way it's going to be fine. It's just trying to work out making the best trades for this week, but also next week, heading into round 9 and 10, and then also to the bye period as well. Like planning some future trades, because if I'm not trading out Katoa and Lioro, I'm probably going to only be able to keep one of them next week, or I could potentially move on from both of them. And if I don't get a bird this week, I could probably look to get him next week. So yeah, plenty of thoughts on that one there. You're playing Warbrick probably fine this week against the Warriors. Like if the Storm have a bounce back game, good chance he scores a try again. Alamotti, we could also play him this week if we wanted to. So there's definitely some a lot of general thoughts in there because Manu can cover both positions. Just let me know what you think I should do on that front, because it is a very interesting week, and as you don't really want to trade 3 for the sake of it. Like, yes, this week you can improve certain situations, but like if Warbrick comes out and gets a 30 odd again, if Alamotti comes out and gets a 30 odd again, like one of those, if you play one of those two guys, your team's going to be fine. And if you can get good scores, like if Katoa can come out and get a 50 odd, Hopgood can get 50 and Lioro can get like a 40 odd, you're really strong through your interchange and your starting side, and you're really only just hoping that one player does well or does poorly. Yeah, does well really, and if they do poorly, it's not the end of the world if the other guys do well. Like if Katoa comes back and gets a 55, and as I said, Hopgood 50 and Lioro 45, there you're really happy with the output across that team, and you only use the 2 trades. You got a gun player in Manu. You fix up that mid-range in Suaalii, and you have guys available to trade out at some decent prices next week. And Murray could be an option over the next few weeks if I need to use bigger cash to get to certain guys, or if I need to fix up that cheapie, whether it's Nikorima, whether it's Granville there. There's plenty of thoughts to be had, and I'm kind of talking myself into that one. Let me know your thoughts, guys. It'd be really helpful if you jumped in the comments and gave me a few thoughts across the rest of the day, and even into Friday as well. But I wish you all the best of luck in your squad going forward. As I said, by all means, we're not panicking here. The team's looking good overall. It's more just trying to make sure that the trades are worth it as well. If you're going to use 2 or 3, you don't want to be wasting those. And best thing to do, guys, is head into your trade section and actually go down and have a look at all the trades you've been making, and just go, oh, am I actually making the most out of the trades that I'm using? Am I getting rid of guys that are making money too early? Are they just having a bad week and I'm trading them for that? And really trigger happy on your trades. That's the big thing to have a look at here. But as I said, big good luck for you heading into round 8. It's getting really fun. It's getting really exciting, and very scary at the same time, heading into the bye period and making sure you're getting it right. So good luck again, and have a good one.